There are hedge fund managers making $1 million an hour. You know, it's crazy, right? It's money everywhere. It's money in everything. I want to help you. Start your business today. Come join my royal family. Subscribe to Casino Is the Name.
Hey, yo, what's going on right now? You watching Casino Is the Name, and I wanted to talk to you guys about a conversation that I was having with one of my godbrothers. And so, I have a lot of godbrothers, first of all. And everybody's in different places in their life. And one of my godbrothers, he's actually trying to do music. And he's saying that everybody's telling him, you know, what he needs to do, how he has to shoot his video, and that's not what he wants. That's not the image that he's going for. That's not the feel he's going for. And so he is trying to make everybody happy. And so he called me and he was like, man, what do you think? What do you think I should do? You know, because I really want to go in this other direction, but everybody around me is telling me to go this direction. And I told him simply, you the one who got to live that. They just talking, you know. It's your decision at the end of the day. You can't be forced into doing anything. It's your decision at the end of the day. Somebody can give you ideas, concepts, things to follow, but if you decide to go a whole different direction, that is you. That is up to you. And if you follow their direction, that is still going to be your decision. Don't let other people dictate where you go. Don't let other people dictate your direction. You know what I'm saying? True. Some of the information might be better off than where you might end up being by following your own information. But you know, you still have to wear that. You still gonna have to live that. You know, I can tell you, hey, I chose to go into accounting. It works for me. And you might choose to go into accounting, but you really want to be a psychologist. And I might have said that's a horrible degree. You know, well, psychology is a bad degree unless you plan on going all the way through the clinicals, through the master's program. But if you plan on getting a associate's degree in psychology and think you're going to get a great job, it's not probably going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And so if you decide, oh, I'm going to go to be an accountant because of that, and you were really somebody who would have gone the whole way and became a psychologist, and then you're miserable being an accountant, it is still your decision. It is not my decision. You still have to make that decision. Make an informed decision. Understand why this person is saying this. Understand what you really want. And then you make that decision based on your own. You have to protect your own vision. Now, don't be dumb. If somebody telling you don't, do certain things, at least you can take counsel. You can take counsel. And you can still decide that you don't want to take that counsel at the same time. You can decide, well, I don't want to do that. I want to do what I want to do. That is still your decision as well. But, if you know in your heart of hearts that something ain't for you, or that you don't want to do it, and you willing, as long as you're willing to deal with the consequences of not taking their advice, then that's completely up to you, If I listen to people from where I'm from and from the neighborhoods and stuff that I grew up in, if I listen to them, I would probably be in prison right now. Okay? If I continue to listen to them, I'd probably be in prison or worse, And that is me breaking out and saying, no, I'm gonna go back to college. You know how many people told me college was a bad idea? But based off of the information, well, not that it was a bad idea. Well, yeah, that it was a bad idea. They actually told me college was a bad idea. They said a lot of things like most millionaires don't have a college degree. That wasn't true either. 80% of millionaires have a college degree. Only 20% didn't. And so, and then when you looked at the richest black people on the planet, the top 10 billionaires at the time, all of them had a degree. The top 10 black billionaires, all of them had a degree, including Oprah. But they all had college education. And so, when I'm listening to people who are not founded in anything other than what their own belief system is, like they don't have any facts. So I say, make your decision based on facts. And even with the facts, if you decide that even looking at these facts that you still want to do your own thing, shout to do your thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, do not let other people dictate where you gonna sleep or how you gonna sleep or how you gonna live, because you are the one who has to live that, you know? You're going to sit around and your cousin or your uncle or your mama or your dad is going to tell you, no, go in this direction. Now, it is okay to listen to counsel and you know, make your own decisions, but just don't do stuff that you don't want to do because they're telling you to do it. And, you know, and they're not even showing you no facts. No, this is why we doing this. This is, like, let me show you this. Now, you still got the right to make your own decision at the end of it all because you are the person who has to live that, you know? I've been walking my own path. You know? That's why, you know, Grant Cardone could have said something and Dave Ramsey could have said the exact opposite. And I might have blended the two, you know? And I made my own decision like that. I never just, oh, well, he said do this, I'm going to go all the way this way. Oh, he said do this, I'm going to go all the way this way, you know? I just believe that you are in control of your own destiny. And it's time for y'all, it's time for you to start acting like it. You know, if you got people in your ear, you know, in your heart that you do not want to do something, you know, then don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Because 5, 10, 20 years from now, you're the person who's going to be having to wear that image or be in that job or be in that apartment or house that you don't even really want. That's going to be you, you know? So, but weigh your options. Think about things, make educated guesses. You know how many people ask me questions and I'd be like, I don't know. You Googled it? Have you pulled it up on Yahoo? Have you done any research? Have you gone to a library? Because all I'm gonna do is, okay, my phone is saying, my smart device, you know, my Android, my iPhone, this is Android too, but my other iPhone, I don't know where it's at right now. Oh, right here. My other iPhone, you know, they're telling me that this is the information that you're asking me. Oh, but you have a smartphone, you have a smart device. Why aren't you using it? You'd rather ask me. Now, I could spill all kind of false information to people. Like, believe it or not, I've actually thought about, like, what if I just did a video where I just came on and said, hey, guess what? And said some false information and then was like, hold up. I'm just playing, y'all. Just because I got on a suit or a tie or I say, hey, I'm an expert in this, does not mean that I may be an expert. I would never do anything like that. Everything that I talk about are things that I personally know, places I have personally been, tried, and things of that nature. And so I would never just say things and not really have any kind of facts behind it. But people do. A lot of people do. A lot of people, you know, they push out their opinion ungrounded in any facts, or they'll choose certain
I ain't never have to do that. I ain't never
and
had to do
just
that.
only use those
Like,
facts.
I ain't never hated on nobody. That's my brother. That's my brother. They see me get out the street for real. Yeah. But we don't count money, they was hating on me.
They was hating, we was counting money. Never let them take nothing from me. I was doing shows overseas, cause doing time for them kids. They gon' talk about you, they gon' try to spray you, they gon' try to hate you, they gon' try to play you, they gon' talk about you, they gon' try to spray you, they gon' try to hate you.
Don't buy a house. Don't live in your house. Rent where you live. Own rental property, but rent where you live. I don't know how anybody is making. I don't know how anybody is justifying saying that, but you know that's what people are doing. You know, they're saying rent where you live and own real estate and own rental property, rent where you live. I think you should own it all. Like I don't. That's my personal opinion though. Like you know, I don't get it, but somebody may say that and, you know, they may really feel that way, but they may not be able to show you any facts, right? Like, if I told you, if they're telling you, well, own where you live, own rental property and rent where you live, so you're going to be a renter and you own rental property. I don't know how that makes any sense whatsoever unless you're renting from yourself. I don't understand it, because a rental property is going to cost more Like renting, you can take a 3-bedroom apartment here in Atlanta, Georgia. That 3-bedroom apartment is going to cost you more per square foot than if you bought a single family home. This is just what it is. On top of that, you can't sublease any rooms in that house. You can't Airbnb any rooms in that apartment, or you shouldn't, legally, unless you did run an arbitration, and all of those people are losing crazy money right now. But the point is, if you rented an apartment, saying you're paying in Atlanta, let's say you're paying $1,400 for a 2-bedroom apartment, $1,500 for a 2-bedroom apartment, you can buy a single family home with 4 bedrooms in different parts of Atlanta for $1,000 a month, all in, like taxes, escrow, insurance, depending on where you at. You might get a 4-5 bedroom, not 5 bedroom, probably like a 3 or 4 bedroom house, single family home for less than that. It might not be that many square feet, may not be 3,000 square feet, but you might be in more square feet than your apartment is. You know what I'm saying? And you have the control on whether or not you decide you want to rent out rooms in that apartment, in that house, in that single family home. That is your decision. So you can end up paying much less than, so you're already going to be saving money, and you put money back in your pocket because you're buying, you're owning more and more of that house. And when you get ready to sell it, when you get ready to move out of an apartment, you can't take none of that. You rent for 10 years, spend $1,000 a month, and that's $12,000 a year. 10 years, $120,000. When you get ready to leave, you get your deposit back if you don't need paint on the walls after 10 years, which you probably will. If you don't need carpet, which you probably will. So matter of fact, you just forget the deposit. You probably won't get the deposit back, which might have been maybe $1,000. So, you out $120,000. When you leave, you can't take none of that with you. Now, this is the thing about real estate. I get a single family house. I don't go crazy and try to buy no $800,000-$900,000 house. And so, now say if you got $100,000 to $300,000 house, you can get off of that house relatively easy. Not necessarily in the pandemic market, but in the usual market, you can get off that house pretty easy. Now, say you've been there 10 years, that house usually has gone up quite a bit. They say it's supposed to double every 10 years, but not all of it doubles. But in a 10-year time frame, you should have received some level of increase. Usually, not all the time, but usually you will see a profit on the other side. So if you got a $100,000 house, in 10 years, that house should be worth closer to $200,000, maybe 150, at least 140, right? But you owe less at the same time. You owe less. So now that you owe less, you know what I'm saying, you can take that house, when you sell it, you owe, I don't know, in 10 years, let's say you had a $100,000 mortgage, let's say 10 years later you owe $90,000. So now that you owe $90,000, you know what I'm saying, you sell it, you keep the spread, say you sold it for $100, you walk all in after paying the sales agent fees, or 6% or whatever else, and the closing costs if you had to negotiate that. Let's say you walk away with 130, right? You walk away with 130, but you owe 90, so you clear up 40,000. You can do that. You can actually own a single family home and just live in it, pay less than somebody who pays in rent, and still make a profit when you actually decide you want to move to another house, or you want to vacate, you got a new job, you got to move out of town. Okay, you can actually make money, but when you move out of apartment, it's over with. It's dead. It's dead. So I've always just been a fan of put money in my pocket. Anyway, just don't let other people dictate. I know I went off on a rant, but don't let other people dictate what you decide to do. It's your life, man. Make educated decisions and just do the best you can. You're not going to get it right every time, or you might get it right every time, but usually people don't. But make decisions on your own. Use their information, you know what I'm saying? They're not, more than likely, they're not trying to hurt you or whatever like that, but, they don't know everything either. So sometimes you just got to go with how you feel, just as long as you're willing to live with whether your decision is to either go with their advice or to not go with their advice. You know what I'm saying? You're still going to have to live with that. Anyway, right now you're watching Casino Is the Name. Sorry about that. I went off on a rant. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, anyway, subscribe, like, comment. Matter of fact, hit the like button. Hit the like button right now. I appreciate y'all, man. I'm out.
Beat me up, Scotty. Me and
her together, we just count it up. Money on my mind, I can't get enough. Don't play with my money, you don't want no beef. Cause I come from the bottom, I come from the street. When she first saw me, she said, who is that? When a man saw me, he called me a threat. I'm the one that really live with a rap. They ain't never did it, they ain't really trap.
Say you want to be successful. Well, what's stopping you? Can't nothing stop you from being successful except for you. You standing in your own way. I came from the bottom. I ain't know nothing but the grind. You can't tell me nothing about that. I caught the bus at Basin Street Projects in Tallahassee, Florida. You hear me? I used to think $1 million would last me my whole life. I'd have made that and spent that. $1 million ain't enough.
There are hedge fund managers making $1 million an hour. You know, it's crazy, right? There's money everywhere. There's money in everything. I want to help you. Start your business today. Come join my royal family. Subscribe to Casino is the